Hello, I am here today to talk about common auto repair questions and myths. And I get asked a lot of questions, so I got a whole list of stuff to all the questions and myths to go over with you. My name is Brent. I'm an auto repair shop owner, and I've been in every job that you can imagine in the field, from a lube tech to a transmission rebuilder to a general tech, and I'm also a shop owner. So I'm going to hop right into it and get started here. So one question I get often asked is pretty common, pretty basic, but how often should I get my fluids changed? So when it comes to engine oil, we recommend 3,000 miles for 10,000 miles for synthetic engine oils. And by the way, guys, as I go through this, feel free to just shoot me over any questions you have, and I'll see those on here and try to answer those the best I can. So anyways, fluids, transmission fluids, I recommend running your factory fluid to 100,000 miles. After that, you can get them changed, get the transmission serviced every 50,000 miles. The only exception to that is if you do a lot of towing, plowing, anything like that. So as far as differential fluids or gear lubes, I also, same thing. I just recommend that about every 100,000 miles. Antifreeze coolant, same thing, every 100,000. And honestly, the engine oil is the most important. Transmission is probably the next most important. Besides that, I just recommend, having people getting their fluids at least checked every oil change. So number two, here's a myth that I've heard people have all kinds of different answers for. So the big myth, synthetic oils. Once you change to synthetic, you may never change back. I've heard that for years and years. As soon as synthetic oils have started actually coming out, people said you can switch to synthetic. Once you do, you can't ever go back to conventional. Well, we're putting a big red X right through that. That is false, guys. There's no reason that you can use conventional oil, switch to synthetic for a while, and then switch back to conventional. One of the myths is that it conditions the rubber and your seals are going to leak once you switch, if you ever switch away from synthetic. So not true. I'm not telling you to go back and forth every other oil change, but don't feel like you're trapped in using synthetic oils because your previous owner changed his oil synthetic, that type of thing. So let's see. Another question that I get asked a lot is, should I run mid-grade or premium fuels in my car or in my vehicle? So, of course, your three options at the gas pump are regular, mid-grade, and premium. And people are wondering, should we run mid-grade or premium? What's the benefit? Why would I even do that? So here's the answer, the best answer I have for that. If your car is not a high-performance car, if it's not turbocharged or supercharged or, any, I guess I'd call hyper. So most of the time for most vehicles, it's not necessary. And to be honest, there's really not much benefit there. You might see a slight increase in your fuel mileage from regular to premium. Honestly, it's probably not worth the savings to do this. I'd recommend just run regular. If your vehicle is, a little bit more of a high performance type vehicle, I don't know, Camaro, Mustang, Corvette, then yes, let's put premium fuels in it, because premium fuels are really designed for engines that have higher compression. And here is something you probably didn't know. Most people have another myth, is that, so what's the advantage of premium fuel? People will say, oh, because it burns hotter, that it actually burns cleaner. Again, we're putting a red X through that. Not the case. This is pretty interesting, but premium fuel is actually less flammable than regular fuel. So I bet you didn't know that. Premium fuel, and for the reason why is higher compression engines, they have a tendency to do what's called pre-ignition or detonating. So if you have an engine with higher compression or higher performance vehicle, run regular fuel, that fuel could ignite before the spark plug even fires, just because the compression is so high. So to combat that, that's why you use premium fuels. It's actually less flammable than regular. So moving right along now. So let's see. Question number 4 that I get asked most of the time is, what pressure should I run? What kind of air pressure should I run my tires? So best answer to that is, on most vehicles, I like to run 35 PSI. So, you know, your passenger cars and trucks, 35 PSI. Some will say 32. I just like them a little bit firmer, 35. I don't know why. It helps with fuel economy, I guess. Running soft tires are killing your fuel economy. So if you're doing any sort of, if you have a heavy vehicle, you're doing any sort of towing, then you can go ahead and put whatever you want and put, you know, higher pressures in. But it's safe to burn 35 PSI in most vehicles. Okay, here's one. Should I get my vehicle serviced by the dealership? Somebody gets a new car, it's a little bit nicer car, newer car than what they're used to. Do I need to go to the dealership who manufactures this vehicle? And now I'm a little bit one-sided on that because I'm an actual auto shop owner, an independent auto repair shop, but I'm going to say no. Don't get me wrong, you probably do get some good quality work from the dealership, but there's a few things that, you know, me, if I would put myself in, you know, in your shoes, that I really wouldn't be too appreciative of. Dealership, you know, you're going to pay more, and you're also, you know, that they're really set up. They're just money makers. You know, they're set up to make money in every single way possible. So they really push all these little things to get repaired, and they're taught to do so. You know, so a vehicle that comes in for an oil change or a brake job, it could have a small, minute oil leak, and customer comes to me and they're like, look at my estimate. I just went in for an oil change. They say I need $1,300 worth of work to this vehicle. I just bought it. So I look at the vehicle, I put it up in the air, I'm like, huh, they say you want to replace head gaskets for an oil leak. I wouldn't have even told you about that oil leak because it's so minor. It's not even made its way, you know, there hasn't even been a single drop from your engine yet. So, I mean, we run into that quite a bit. So I recommend, you know, you guys to support your local independent auto repair shops and try to find someone who, you know, an honest place who's going to give you straight answers and going to treat you right. They're going to save you a lot of money. They're going to save you from having unnecessary work or services done to your vehicle. And the quality, you know, depending where you go, but usually I feel like the quality could even be higher than the dealerships because they really care and they really try to earn your business. So let's see, we are moving right along here. One other just kind of tip I want to throw out there is, people are wondering where their battery voltages should be. You know, they're wondering if their alternators are working right. So a good alternator, a good charging system is actually going to run at about 14.4 volts. So your battery, when you shut your vehicle off, your battery usually sits right at around 12.5 volts. A good running engine with a good alternator is going to run about 14.4 volts. So, and finally, this is another big myth that I wanted to address or question, but are European cars better quality than domestic? So if we talk about our vehicle makers, we have our domestics, you know, the big four: GM, Chrysler, Ford, are the big three there, and then you have Asian cars: Nissan, Toyota, Honda, blah blah blah. Then you have European cars: Volkswagen, Audi, Land Rover, let's see, a couple of them are escaping me at the moment, but BMW, Mercedes. So are these European cars higher quality, and do they break less often because of it? And that's a big, a lot of people think that these European vehicles are going to last forever and not break. So hate to burst anybody's bubble out there, but to be honest, European vehicles, we see them break as often, if not more, than your Europe or than your domestic or Asian vehicles. Don't get me wrong, they do have good quality, and a lot of times you see the interior panels, the leather on the seats, some of the stuff like that's actually a little bit better quality than others. But when it boils down to it, they are loaded full of electronics and gizmos and gadgets, and that stuff fails a lot. Biggest thing we see with them is electronic problems. And the other thing I just warn people who are, maybe looking to be purchasing a European vehicle when they haven't owned one before is, get ready to pay for some auto. When your car does break, get ready to pay for it, because it's going to be 2 to 3 times the cost from a European. 2 to 3 times the cost from a domestic or an Asian. Usually, domestic and Asian vehicles, the cost of repairs are pretty similar. Domestics, of course, cheaper. Asians a touch higher, not much. European, they're in a whole nother level. So some shops don't even touch European cars, but the ones that do, they're difficult to work on, so they want to get paid for it, and parts are not only harder to get, but they're also usually about double the money. So anyway, so there's a few tips and questions and myths for you. Hope that was helpful. So if you are at all interested in auto repair or want to know how your vehicle works, anything like that, I have a free book, a free ebook that I'd love to give you. It's a PDF download, and it really is the basics, but it's free. Download that, read through it, and it's going to explain how all these systems in a vehicle work. So go to autorepairuniversity.com and sign up for that. All we need is your email, and we're going to we're also going to start emailing you all, a lot of other cool information. And then by doing that, you can get on a list. I have a free 3-part training series coming up for online auto repair classes. So we're going to put out three courses on that for online auto repair, totally free. So anyways, that's going to be coming out hopefully within the month. But anyways, it's going to be coming out pretty soon. So if you sign up for the ebook, we can also get you on the waiting list to get these 3-part series, 3-part training series on auto repair. So get on the list, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions or anything like that. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.